Good evening, everybody, and welcome here to the WTCC around the Red Bull Ring, also known as Spielberg, and I hope you are doing very well indeed. The cars that we are running, the WTCCs, they are the 2017 version. So, I hope you are going to enjoy our race tonight. Currently we are sitting in qualifying, of which we've got just under 12 minutes of the 15-minute session to go. Then we have a 20-minute race followed by a 10-minute qualifier into another 20-minute race. This is your current standings of the session at the moment, and that is Reggie Blaine on pole position with a 132.263. He's about 7/10 ahead of Bedrick Marek. A rather new name for me, actually. I don't think I've said Marek before. There are quite a number of new names, and I do apologise. I was trying to run through them earlier on before the session started, and oh my word, did I do very badly indeed. But in third position anyway, we've got Xavier Sanchez Cordero, and he's at 133.123, so he's only just within a second of this driver here, Reggie Blaine. However, he's got Nicholas Papamichael right behind. Literally, they're within the same tenth of a second. They're both 8/10 off of Reggie Blaine. They're both in the 133.1s, but he sits in fourth. Just behind that is Vangelis Plaginos in fifth. Jazz Forsberg currently sits in sixth position, with Stamatis Triantafiliou in seventh, while Scarland eighth, Bart Zurich ninth, and Radek Palesks in 10th. And I think it's going to be a good couple of races here tonight. I mean, RaceRoom races are always good. They're really clean. We do see incidents here and there. And even though we do see incidents, it's very nice to see that they're very respectful. They give the position back. And actually, the last race that we had on Sunday, which was the Classic Touring Cars, I believe. Yes, it was. It was the Classic Touring Cars. That was a really nice race and very good racing. Close racing, as well as a couple of weeks ago now, we had the DTMs at Moscow. That was weekend before last. And that was an absolutely amazing race. Even though we had double the amount of drivers that race in the real world, we actually kept it cleaner than the races that happened in the real DTM that weekend. So we are quite a good example, I think. Vangelis Plaginos is just moved his car into second position, 4/10 off of Reggie Blaine. Now, Reggie Blaine used to race quite a lot. When I first joined Race Department and I did my first event over on RaceRoom, I broadcasted my first event on RaceRoom. It was Reggie Blaine completely dominating every single race. And he came off for some reason. He vanished. He disappeared. But he's back, and he's back at the top. And he's doing this return quite well. Return to glory as well. Reggie Blaine crosses the line. It's an improvement at 132.114. Good evening, everyone watching tonight. I hope you are having a good night. Now, is it just me, or is it Thursday? I believe so. Yeah, it is. Okay, awesome. I can't even remember the days anymore. But it's a Thursday night, and we are going around, and it's nice to have you all join us here today, because unfortunately, I do not think there will be a RaceRoom Sunday event this week. It is yet to be confirmed, though I've got to just check a few things, but there very possibly won't be one, so this will be our only RaceRoom fix this week. We have an Assetto Corsa broadcast tomorrow, and then we have, for me, I have 2 days off anyway. I've been staying up late in the American races, if you caught that one on Monday in the American time zone. Tuesday for me, it was Tuesday morning. But I have been helping out over there as well. Colin Hurks to put an improvement on his lap time. However, he stays in 16th position at the moment. Reggie Blaine once again improving on his lap. He goes overall fastest in the first sector. Will he be able to keep that together in the second sector? As you see the rear end of the bull there. So we head through into the middle part of the course and heading up to the final sector now. Heading back towards the start-finish line. Going to come across the timing line, but it's not going to be fast enough. Almost 1.5 tenths down from his previous best. Reggie Blaine in the Chevrolet doing well. The top three different makes of car. Chevrolet, Honda, and then Citroen, the only other make of car racing at there as well. Actually, we've got two other makes. We have got the Volvo. Our fastest running is Gibb in 11th. And then we do also have the Lada, which Roy Magnus in 18th position is running. As we've got quite a number of drivers, 25, in fact, heading out onto the track. So it's going to be a really interesting race to see who can come out on top with 6 minutes to go. And looking at that, the GT3s tomorrow night in the American time zone. I'm not too sure at the moment. We will have to see. I've been having issues with my Assetto Corsa and with my frame rate in Assetto Corsa, so we shall have to see. Frans van der Linden sitting 12th in the session at the moment. Nicholas Papamichael in 3rd. One of the many new drivers for me tonight. In fact, we have a couple of new Greek drivers, Nicholas Papamichael and Antonios Papiropoulos. Sitting in 3rd and 5th. Vangelis Paginas obviously in 2nd. And then we've also got Stamatis Triantafilou joining us in 9th. So quite a lot of... I love how you have the groups of drivers. You've got 2nd, 3rd, 5th. But 9th just further down, but you've got all the Greek drivers there. You've got the British drivers, so 12th, 13th, 16th, 17th. At the very bottom, you've got the drivers from Norway, I believe. That flag is, I'm probably going to get that completely wrong now. It's Denmark, isn't it, or something? Ooh. I'm not too sure. I'm going to get told off for you. But anyway, 20th, 21st, 22nd, Magnus Anderson, and that is also Sandoy. Sitting together in 20th, 21st, 22nd. So really, you've got the groups of all the different nationalities, and it's quite cool to see. And looking, no more live streams on, yes, that's because some of them might not happen. I'm sure tomorrow's does. You're just scaring me now. I'm sure tomorrow's has it. Yeah, tomorrow's friendly event does have live stream. However, the rest of the week does not at the moment. And that is due to the fact that there may not be any more streams at the end of this week. It's very little streams this week, actually. Last week, we had a stream almost daily, and then this week, not so much. 4 minutes to go in the session at the moment. Jazz Forsberg sitting in 7th at the moment, who we are looking at. As he's going to come up. Oh, sorry, this is Alvin Anderson. We were looking at Jazz Forsberg. These things just update slowly on Auto Director. Anyway, Alvin Anderson currently on his fastest, personal best. He's going to improve and splits him away from the other drivers of the same nationality that I don't know, and I feel really bad for not knowing. In 18th position. Vangelis Paginos also on an improved lap, currently 6 tenths off of Blaine. But out of the second sector, he's only a 10th. Big 2 wheels to the final corner. What's it going to be? He needs to be at 132.1. It's a 131, a 132.6. It's half a second. So that's 0.444 of Reggie Blaine. It's an improvement, but it's not good enough. But it does. That little improvement there only just kept him ahead of Zabio Sanchez Cordero, who came across the line just seconds after Paginos put in his improved lap time. That was Papamichael, I believe, running around still. This is Martin Fayela. There we go. We got his information. 2.5 seconds off of Blaine. But that still is a 2-second improvement on his lap time at the moment. Coming into the final 2 corners. He's going to push it to the limit, but actually a really clean driver by Martin Fayela. He is a very clean driver indeed. He keeps tyres, or 2 tyres within the white lines, and it's Norway. I feel so bad. Thanks for letting me know. It is Norway that flag is. I do very much apologise, but at least I know now for the future, eh? As Frans van der Linden comes up to the line to cross it with an improved lap time that puts him into the top 10. And yet again, he's going to meet a fellow nationality driver in 9th and 10th. Now, it's just that all the nationalities starting to group together here as we continue to go through. And it's all right, Greg. It is a shame that you can't race, but there's always Sunday. Hopefully you can join us for that. And Roy will be somersaulting and rolling the larder throughout the race tonight. So we've got to be keeping our eye on him. I am very, very sorry, Ole, that I do not know the flag of your country. Hopefully you won't hold that against me. As Sandor going to come up across the line here with an improved lap time that places him up to... Oh, it is an improved lap time by about 4/10, but it doesn't improve in the position. He stays behind Magnus. Reggie Blaine, fastest in the first sector overall once more in his DHL Chevrolet car. Very popular livery tonight. Obviously, because the live stream came in quite late, they didn't make everyone choose their liveries, then it looked better on the broadcast or anything. Everyone could choose whatever livery they wanted. And that DHL is popular. We've got Blaine driving it, Cordero driving it, Zwierink driving it, Triantafilifu driving it, Herx driving it, Sandor driving it, Reggie Blaine Sr. driving it. That's what, seven drivers all running the exact same, the number 9 car of Tim Coronel. But look how close Reggie Blaine is to only just improving on his lap time at the moment. 0.02 of a second lap time improvement through the second sector. Will he be able to hold it up though? It's still quite close between Parginas and Cordero. Will there be an improvement in lap time there? They are about only 0.02 of a second between each other. Reggie Blaine, will it be an improved lap time here? A 1:32.1 to beat. It's a 1:31.941. And it knocks Parginos back to 0.6 down. Frans van der Linden, about 0.2 off of Blaine's time in the first sector. It's a personal best. As we do reach the end of qualifying, we're going to have to quickly run through our votes. And I mean quickly. I'm going to speed through these names now. Reggie Blaine in first. Vangelis Parginos in second. Xavier Sanchez Cordero in third. And Nicholas Papamichael in fourth. Sorry. And Beric Marek in 5th. Jazz Forsberg qualifies in 6th. And we can't even run through them all. It's not fair. We don't get enough time to run through them. And we only get to look at one person on the grid. So I could run through the grid in the 2 minutes we get for everyone to get onto the grid. I could run through the grid, but I can't. I am officially complaining at RaceRoom to sort their starting grid out. If they could sort that out for me, I have no complaints about the end of qualifying because I can run through your starting grid now. But no. You're going to send me on a flower course, Ole. Okay, then. You can do that, sir. It'll probably help me out. I mean, I did fail geography, but, you know, countries are one of the things that I semi-understand. Anyway, we're going to get ready here. We're going to get the session countdown at the top. 10 seconds until we go green. A few less cars than we are used to in the RaceRoom events, but it doesn't mean by any measures it's going to be less fun. 4th position only just gets onto the grid there. That was Papa Mikel. We're going to get ready for the first of 2 20-minute races as we now head up to the start of the race. We are away. Drivers smoking their tyres away. It's almost 5-6 wide in the background there. Hopefully it can stay all clean into turn number 1. Drivers backing out. There's a little bit of bumping. Oh my word. That was Joshua Voderman showing absolute pure skill in his Volvo, two-wheeling it for about 5 or 6 seconds there, and around goes under braking Bart Zwierink. I believe that was Bart Zwierink. No, it wasn't. That was He just keep on popping down. That was Steve Kenwood, who waits around. There's also a DHL car facing backwards out of the corner, but just behind. Look how wide it is. 3 cars very, very close indeed. That is Muller ahead of Piechowski. Bart Zweering just behind. Zweering going onto the grass. As we go down under braking, it looks like they're all going to start to get their stuff settled here. It doesn't look like it wants to be that way in the middle. We got Frans van der Linden behind Trisha Fu here. Trient Filou. I'm going to really butcher some of these names because they're quite long names and I'm trying to say them quite fast. So I do apologise for that. Papa Mikel, though, is going for the inside of Paralek into the penultimate turn. They're going to run side by side. And that is an easy overtake for Papa Mikel to move himself up to 4th on a big, big slide just behind for Jans Forsberg. And he's going to lose it on the first lap up towards the final corner. He spun it around, and now that's going to be an overtake for Bart Zweering up the inside of up the inside of Pierre Suzak. He has to back out at the very last moment, but that is your standings after the first lap. And then going into turn number 1, Zweering chasing down Pierre Suzak for that position, but we have Antelis Papalescu here going past Magnus Sondoy. No, sorry, this is Colin Hurks. He's running side by side with damn liveries all around. But this is going to be Papanellos on the inside of Colin Hurks. Easy move up the inside, under braking. And the position is his. It looks like we've got a driver around. Yes, we do. That is Pedrick Malek around, unfortunately. Now down to 23rd position. The race leaders are sticking it quite close. I think it definitely could be closer, but only a second at the moment between them. Hopefully that will close up. Frans van der Linden all over the rear of Nicholas Papa Mikel here. That's for 5th. Papa Mikel did get past Pileski at the end of last lap, but it looks like he's lost back the position and back down to 5th. Thank you, Manuel Kugo, for subscribing. Welcome to RaceRoom.com. But don't get all your subscriptions. I do apologise. I just can't hear any sound on the RaceRoom run, so I do apologise for that. It's only if I look at the perfect timing. However, Frans van der Linden is behind Papa Mikel, looking for that position. They've run 2 separate racing lines. It's 3 cars very close just behind, though, Ovind Anderson leading Stamit Trient Filou and Antonis Papamopoulos. Of course, there's 2 really long names involved there. So we've got Trian and Papa running just behind Anderson. I'm going to try and shorten these, but if their shortened names change all the time, I do apologise. But this is Triant following. He's gone slightly wide into turn number 1. In fact, he slowed down. That's going to be a slow down penalty for Triant, and it's not what you want at the exit of turn number 1. Just behind, though, look how many cars are involved in this battle. You'll Steve get behind Magnus Sondoy. That's looking for 13th. He's going to go into the inside and under braking. We've seen it happen so many times already. And another car, Ross Garland, also into the wall there. So it's just easy. The car just loses it under braking and definitely into such a hard braking point. It's just unfortunately what happens sometimes. We're looking at Christoph Müller here, running around in 12th at the moment, as we see Roy Magnus onto the gravel there. It's unfortunate we also see someone else join him in the gravel. That's Steve Kenwood. We've got Papa running around up to P number 8 now, with Triant down to 9th because of his slowdown on the exit turn number 1. He's lost 2 seconds behind, so already that gap's increased. But it's by no means allowed Anderson to pull away from Papa, because he is still quite close in 8th. And a huge old slide from behind. That was Triant, and he's gone onto the grass. It was almost a good hold, but now he's off. He's got it back onto the turf. He's got it back onto the tarmac, and away he goes. 5 minutes down, and he's already had a couple of mistakes. But look at that battle just behind. You've got Bart Zweering trying to get past Vorderman, but Osterberg is going to stay on that right-hand side. The 2 Volvos working together. It's going to be Zweering on the inside, trying to get up the inside of Vorderman, but now on the outside, he's got Osterberg. Osterberg's going to try his hardest to hold the position. He taps the sausage curb. I saw his car raise up just that little bit. No penalty, though, and now this is Ross Garland Garland trying to get involved. We saw Ross had that issue under braking just last lap, but Zwering's going to currently have the outside. It's going to become the inside under braking. He's backed out already, and now Ross Garland is side by side. So what turn for an overtake past Voderman has just been 2 positions lost for Bart Zwering. Bart Zwering, a very fast driver in the Formula 3s on AMS, but this time he's losing down the position. Steve Legale also under attack from Bedrick Marek. Marek's going to be on the right-hand side. It's going to be inside under braking. Steve Legale is going to have to hold it on the outside. Marek goes for it though. Steve Legale leaves him enough room. There's a little bit of contact still, and that's going to be one of the Volvos going very slowly indeed. Niklas Osterberg has now lost the position to Ross Garland. Bart Zwering has got back through as well. So Bart Zwering only losing 1 position this lap instead of the 2 that he originally had lost. As up at the top, Paleski has been able to make the move past Cordero. I'm not too sure when that was, but that position has changed. But Bedrick Marek now going to be on the inside of Niklas Osterberg into the penultimate turn. They're going to be side by side here. He's going to go for the inside. Can't quite do it. And now into the final turn, and he's going to be on the inside. It's going to be the position gain. Bedrick Marek up past Niklas Osterberg, who is now down to P number 18. And here comes Steve Legale to get involved. Osterberg down the position. Steve Legale is going to have to hold that inside line. Osterberg's going to have to just give it in. And it's Osterberg down. Instead of gaining any positions, he's down 4 within the lap. Roy Magnus trying to get involved as well. We got a car parked on the exit of pit lane, but Roy Magnus on the outside of Osterberg is going to become the inside under the braking zone. That's exactly what you want. Who's going to have the bigger mahunas and is going to go for the later braking? It looks like it's Magnus. There's a little bit of two-wheeling there from the Lada driver, and he has made the position. Osterberg now down to P19, and he's got Jazz Forsberg all over his rear now, on board with Forsberg actually, and he's going to be right behind. He's going to go onto the inside line. Will he be able to make the move? Forsberg, the French driver, going to have to stay behind at the moment as there is a car around. That's Bart Zwering who has spun the car around, unfortunately. I believe there was a contact with Bedrick Marek, who's also down, but here comes Forsberg up the inside of Niklas Osterberg to take the position. Will he be able to do it? They're still side by side at the moment, but Jazz Forsberg is up the position. Niklas Osterberg down the position, and looking at it, yes, that was contact between Marek and Zwering. Both drivers are down at the rear of your field now, 23rd and 24th. We've got a retirement of Reggie Blaine Sr. We're almost halfway through this first race, and the accident has not given up on us yet. Christoph Muller behind Colin Hertz for P number 8. They're going to go for the move. Just behind, we see Anderson losing the position to Triant to be able to make the move. But look at that, a switch back out of turn number 1. Ovind Anderson is going to try to get the move back into a top 10 past Stratimus Triant Filu here. And it's going to be very close. Who's going to have the better braking into this turn? There's already a slide up in front of them. That is, I believe, Colin Hertz. No, I'm not too sure. But here they go. They go through now, and it was Colin Hertz down the position. Anderson not able to make that move. You can see how many DHL cars there are there. 3 in the one shot there. Christoph Muller is around. We actually saw him battling just before with Papinopoulos, and now he's gone around and he's having to wait on the outside here, and he's finally getting going in last position. He had to wait a long time for the coast to be clear. Steve Legale now trying to get past Joshua Vorderman, sorry, and that'll be for P number 13 in the race. Will still be able to do it. We're going to run on board with the driver of Steve Legale, very wide by Voderman, and here goes Legale to the inside, and there's contact, over defending, very much over defending there from Joshua Voderman, and that's unfortunate for Steve, who's now all the way down into P number 18. Very much though could be a racing incident, and one for you guys to think about right now. If you can go back and watch that, it's a very bad onboard shot, only one angle of the incident. But what do you guys think? Racing incident, or maybe a bit too much defending from Joshua Voderman as they continue to go around. Steve Kenwood is looking for 18th past Steve Legale, so the two Steves battling it out here. as they're catching up to Martin Freyela. Joshua Voderman in that Volvo just ahead. Nicholas Osterberg in the Volvo at the front of this 5-car train into the turn, and that's going to be Steve Kenwood ahead of Steve Legale, who already made the move before the turn even appeared. And now heading up along. 9 minutes to go in the race. We have a huge battle in your midfield of your the first of 2 races tonight. And it's Nicholas Osterberg in the Volvo leading Joshua Voderman. Then you have this 3-car battle, Steve Kenwood leading Steve Legale, leading Martin Freyela. So really, they have been getting close. They keep on getting close, but Voderman and Osterberg, they keep on getting up the order and then falling down the order again. So I'm not too sure about consistency with those 2 drivers, but it certainly isn't showing. Let's continue around at the moment, looking at the different cars that we are running. Chevrolet is leading the way with Reggie Blaine in first. We then have, oh, that's a big slide from Steve Legale out of the final corner. And here comes Radosław Piotrowski and Bedřich Marek to gain and pick up the pieces. Steve Legale having to turn the car around and get it running again. It looks like Steve Gibb also out of the event today. He is indeed out of the first race. Jazz Forsberg going to go on the outside of Ross Garland. That's an interesting location to make the move on the outside. Really make it work. He has, and he's left enough room from Ross Garland. He's been given that room, and around the outside, Jazz Forsberg goes. In the background, we can see actually that Steve Kenwood has already been able to catch up to the 2 Volvo drivers. Martin Freyela has already lost 6 seconds back from this battle. Ross Garland. Oh, there's contact between Ross Garland and Jazz Forsberg, and oh my word, a big slide from Steve Kenwood. And it goes into the side of Joshua Voderman. We saw that on the right-hand side of the screen. Somehow no contact, and off there goes. I believe that's also Radosław Piotrowski. It is also off the track. Sorry, no, that isn't. Wait a minute. Yes, it is. It is. Piotrowski also off the circuit. There's so many people off of the circuit at one location. Antonius, that is Antonius Paparolis past Frans van der Linden for P number 6. And that is going to be Citroen past Citroen there. Again, let's continue to run through the order. We've got Chevrolet in first, Honda in second. Then we've got Citroen in fourth. As here comes going back is Frans van der Linden on the outside, and a mistake under braking from Paparolis there. Almost loses his race. We're going to ride on board as we continue to look at this battle at the moment. It's for P number 6. The Greek driver shooting down that position past Frans van der Linden for the number 6. Going through, who's going to get a better exit? It looks like it's Frans van der Linden. It looked like just a little bit of wobble on the apex from Paparinopoulos there. As they come through the long left-hander. Continue around. 6 minutes to go in tonight's race. And onto the grass goes Paparinopoulos again. Paparinopoulos. I'm going to say that way too fast and get it wrong way too many times. Papa running onto the grass. Second time he's gone wide. Third time he's actually gone a little bit wider than Frans van der Linden. I think it's losing him some time. Looking at the gap, it's closing at the moment. Let's see what the gap is on the exit of turn number 1. It's about 0.23 heading into the turn. Heading out of the turn once they reach up to speed. It has closed at the moment. 2.21 down below that even, and to the inside and trying too hard. Twice in a row, but this time so much more for Paparinopoulos. He was just trying too hard. He tried from way too far back, and unfortunately for Papanopoulos is going to cost him a lot of time and 2 positions. He's down to P number 9 as he finally gets onto the track with 5 minutes to go. Voderman defending from Steve Kenwood in this 3-car battle for P number 13, and Steve Kenwood wobbling the car. Almost lost it. Somehow he gained control. Now on the exit, we've got Jazz Forsberg once again involved just behind. So these 4 cars now once again going on for P number 13 at the moment as they come through the middle part of the course. 4 minutes to go. It's going to be interesting out of these 4 who is going to come out on top, because Steve Kenwood has definitely been looking fighty, but Voderman on Osterberg there. Oh, Osterberg off! Voderman slightly wide, but now he's going to look for the inside. He's going to try that move. They're running side by side, and it's going to be Osterberg through in the number 63 car. Sorry, down in the number 62 car. Voderman through in the number 63 car, and through goes Kenwood and Forsberg. Just behind. This is really good. I'm trying to get a good camera here. As Forsberg went slightly wide, and now here comes Osterberg back up the inside. Forsberg somehow keeps it in track limits, but he loses so much time. And actually, I don't think he kept it in track limits. I think that was a track limit violation, which has caused him to slow down. Here comes Steve Kenwood to look for the inside into turn number 1 on Joshua Voderman. Can't quite do it. Big 2 wheels. Steve Kenwood showing off a lot of skill there. Not as much as that opening lap. That was just absolutely crazy skills on the opening lap. But it's still some good skills. It's not what you need to take the position though. And he is going to lose a second to Voderman. As Pappy is looking, is looking to get back up the order to get up into 8th now, past Ovin Anderson. Obviously, Pappy lost it when he half slid it 1 lap into that sharp right-hander, turn number 3, I believe it is. And he lost it, but he was able to hold it. He didn't lose too much time. But in the following lap, he actually spun the car when he just tried to make that move from too far back past Frans van der Linden. And it spun his car around, and he lost about 15 to 20 seconds in that. As we come through now, 2.5 minutes to go, and Voderman is behind Steve Kenwood, looking to gain back through. Jazz Forsberg is once again in front of Nicholas Osterberg. So, whilst we were looking up at the front for Black Battle and P number 8, these guys have changed around again. And it's again, oh, it's going to be Voderman off. He holds it, but will he lose it? He loses it once again into the final corner. We saw Voderman do that earlier on in the race, the exact same mistake. But this time, here comes Bodorek Marek, and Marek is actually up the position, up to P number 16. Voderman down to P17. Now it's Steve Kenwood and Jazz Forsberg. They've finally been able to make their way past the Volvos, and the 2 Citroen drivers might have a little bit of a battle in store for P number 13. With about 1.5 minutes to go, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, because Marek is also now directly behind Nicholas Osterberg and could make easy pickings of the Volvo driver. We're going to run on board with Marek as he's, you can see, about half a second down. Bearing in mind that gap was about, I think it was about 4 or 5 seconds just 3 or 4 minutes ago. So he's been closing up a lot of gaps, and he breaks a lot earlier than Osterberg. Maybe trying to scare Osterberg off the racing line. That's exactly what he's done there. And look at this, it's going to be a move already. He's got really close. He's only just made the move past Voderman at the end of last lap. But here he goes up the inside to make the move for P number 15. Can't quite do it at the moment, but on the exit he goes for it. Just a little bit of room, no contact. And he stays his line, he makes his line stick. And he is through, and Bedrick Marek is past the Volvo driver as well. So it was originally Osterberg and Voderman in 13th and 14th. Is now Osterberg and Voderman, the 2 teammates, in 16th and 17th. But Jazz Forsberg's not done in this race either, with 30 seconds to go. 1 more lap to go, maybe even 2, depending on where Reggie Blaine is. Forsberg is going to be trying his hardest to get past Steve Kenwood. And he's going to move up the inside into turn number 1. They're going to be side by side. There's contact, and over goes Kenwood. Kenwood does a barrel roll. He gets back onto the circuit. Forsberg's down. Through goes Marek up to P13. Steve Kenwood down to 14th, but he's got Osterberg all behind. Voderman past Jazz Forsberg as well. Will Osterberg do? We know that they're very adventurous within the moves, the two Chevrolet drivers. Will Osterberg go for the move? He does, under braking the car wobbles, but it sorts itself out. Jazz Forsberg has now got Ross Garland all over the rear, but nothing to be done there. Session comes to an end though as Reggie Blaine crosses your line in the race lead. Angelis Paginos to cross the line in second, and here comes the third position. Xavier Sanchez Cordero to cross the line in third. Papa Macau comes across the line in fourth with Radek Palesk in fifth. Not too far behind that, but we're going to go have a little look back at these battles that are happening, because we've got Martin Fayela actually trying to get past Christoph Müller now. And that's on the final lap of the race as well. There's so many battles going on. Doesn't look like Nicholas Osterberg can get past Steve Kenwood in the end. Jazz Forsberg, Ross Garland, Voderman, all of them splitting up a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see if Forsberg's able to make a move. Half a second between himself and Voderman. All he needs is one mistake from Voderman, and he can make that move through into the final corner. He's got really close indeed, but will it be enough into the final turn? Who's got the better run? It's going to be Voderman in front at the moment. Forsberg has to pull out the way. He's going to be in front. It's very, very close indeed. But then across the line, it's too close to call. By the look of it, it's Forsberg. It's Voderman ahead of Forsberg. That's what timing on the left-hand side says. That was very, 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 very close indeed. The positions though, Reggie Blaine wins with the fastest lap of the race. Parginos in second, Sanchez Cordero in third, Papa Mikel in fourth, Palesk in fifth, Van der Linden in sixth, Chiantafilu in seventh, Paparinopoulos, Anderson and Herx rounding out your top 10. When you have Magnus, Sandoy, Kenwood, Murak, Osterberg. It was Voderman right ahead of Forsberg by just 1/100th of a second, less than 100th of a second even. Forsberg in 17th in the end then. That was Garland in 18th. Muller, Fayela, Steve Legale, Pierciowski running out your top 22. Then we had Zwiering and Gibb retiring. Reggie Blaine Sr. did not actually complete the first lap of the race for some reason, but that was race number 1. We've got one more race to go. We have a 10-minute qualifying session, and then we have the race. And with this 10-minute qualifying session, I am going to go and take the opportunity to go and grab myself a drink. Please be sure to say what you thought about that race and your predictions for the second race and the qualifying as well in the chat, and I'll be sure to catch up with that. So as we get going into the second qualifying session, we have a 10-minute qualifying session followed by a second 20-minute race. We've got about 8 minutes to go in this session at the moment, and I will get the information up for you. There we go, and I will see you in a minute. Thank you very much, and I'll see you at the end of the qualifying session. Hello everybody, as we are here for the WTCC, the 2017 cars on RaceRoom, as we are racing around the Red Bull Ring. And in race number 1, it was very, very fun indeed. Definitely in your midfield pack. We did see a few cars showing off their Ken block skills, and they were doing 2 wheels out of turn number 1. We even saw a barrel roll nearing the end of the race. And as they say, Red Bull gives you rings, and we were certainly seeing some of the cars fly around the circuit as we are running in the second qualifying session tonight, ready for the second race. And that first race was certainly very interesting indeed. Good evening everyone watching here today, and I did not realise there were so many people watching here today. So, good evening and welcome once more as we are getting ready for the second race this evening. 20 minutes were the first race, 20 minutes for the second race, and this is currently your qualifying order. 12 of the 24 cars, 13, sorry, of the 24 cars. They're going to be starting race number 2. Put in laps, more drivers starting to continue to put in laps. Reggie Blaine currently has your provisional pole with a 132.165. With a 132.647 is Xavier Sanchez Cordero, and he sits in second with Nicholas Papamichael of a 132.682 in third. Very, very close though between Papamichael and Parginos, third and fourth. Now we do have 2 Paps on there, which is very confusing. Bear in mind they're also from the same nationality and they're in the same car as well. 7th position, who is our other Pap, is Antonis Paparinopoulos. He sits with a 133.489, and that's about 1.3 seconds off of our pole position time. As now we have 18 cars across the line, putting in lap times with 3 minutes to go in the session, and then we have another crazy 20-minute race. Now it's very clean actually, in through turn number 1 on your first race. We obviously saw that huge 2-wheel driving for about 5 or 6 seconds through the first turn. I can't remember who exactly did that show for us. I believe it was Joshua Voderman who performed that amazing show through turn number 1. And then, obviously, Steve Kenwood proving an even greater show when he decided to roll the car after just a tap from Jazz Forsberg. The car decided to roll over. And that was about 2 to 3 laps before the end of the race. And now coming across the line is Nicholas Papamichael. Doesn't look like he is going to be able to improve on his lap. He will not. And he will continue to go around the circuit at the moment. Good evening everyone who is watching 2 minutes away from the second race of the night. And I'm looking forward to it. That first race, yes, we didn't see too many battles in the top part of your field. No, I won't argue with that. We didn't see too many battles in the top half of your field. But what we did see, a crazy battle in the bottom half of your field. It was about 5-6 cars involved at most points in the race. It did start to space out again, but then it always came back together, and that's the way that it led throughout the entire 20 minutes. And I'm kind of hoping we have that again today. Obviously, for those of you who are watching, we may not be able to get a RaceRoom Sunday this weekend, so this may be the only RaceRoom fix from Race Department for broadcast-wise, but you can still race in it, of course, this Sunday. We have the Formula RXs, I believe, the FRX. Yes, we do, the FRX around the Red Bull Ring. And we have a lovely event coming up for that, so be sure to sign up for it if you haven't already done so. Owen Anderson coming across the line, currently 15th position in session, and that was Gibb spinning out of the final turn. Joshua Voderman looking to move up from 19th in the session. He does. He moves to 17th in the session. Thank you, Anonymous, for subscribing. And welcome to racedepartment.com. Roy Magnus coming up to the line to look to improve. He is currently running his personal best, and it is an improvement, up from 14th to 11th position. So, a great improvement for Roy Magnus, just outside of top 10. Driver who is in the top 10 is Steve Cameron, looking to improve within there. Doesn't quite do it, loses out just that little bit of time in the final sector and 2/10 down on his fastest lap. Only 20 seconds to go. I'm going to try my hardest to get in the fastest qualifying report you'll ever hear. Reggie Blaine in pole position. Vangelis Parginos qualifies in second. Xavier Sanchez Corredo in third. And Nicholas Papamichael in fourth. Antonius Papanopoulos sits in fifth position with Bedrick, Murek, Jazz Forsberg, Radek, Palesk, Bart Zuring and Steve Kenwood in 10th. Roy Magnus sits in 11th with Steve Geiler in 12th. Colin Herks in 13th. Ross Garland in 14th position. 15th position is Elvind Anderson. Nicholas Osterberg sits in 16th position. 17th position is Joshua Bodeman. 18th is Reggie Blaine Sr. 19th position is Roy Magnus, followed by Stephen Gibb, Martin Fayela, and then at the rear of the field, not without a lap time, is Stephanis Trientafilou, Franz van der Linden, and Christoph Müller. And that is why you need to do a very, very quick qualifying summary. My word, I really do hate RaceRoom with the trying to talk through your qualifying order. It's not really the best. But anyway, we'll turn off auto director there. And now we're going to be ready to get away. 30 seconds until the lights start to go up for these guys. And the race will be about to start. Good evening, everyone watching tonight. And we are about to get going for race number 2 of the evening. Another 20-minute race. And once again, Reggie Blaine sits on your pole position slot. Will we get yet another clean number 1? It was turn number 2 where we saw the issues in race number 1. And that was purely because drivers losing it under braking. I don't actually think we saw contact going into the braking zone. I thought we saw one car spin out at the end, but we are green, we are away, and who's going to get your better exit? It's a very, very slow start, from Papamichael into turn number 1. We're looking at Paleski. He's on the inside line at the moment into turn number 1. Looking further back, and that's a little bit of a mistake just up in front from Papanopoulos, and it's very clean once more on through turn number 1 and now up to turn number 2. And Vangelis Parginos still on the rear of Reggie Blaine here, looking to gain up some positions maybe into the lead of the race. It's going to be very tight into turn number 2 again. Drivers already, there's someone around and he's decided to take the corner in reverse. That's going to cause some issues, and he's sitting right on the racing line, and he has been collected by one of our other drivers there. That's Steve Legale being collected, unfortunately, in that. But coming out of the corner, it's still very much battle on. Jazz Forsberg to get on the outside of Trientafilou here. That's Nicholas Osterberg just up in front. But that is going to be the move for Trientafilou on the inside of Osterberg. And Triant has gone through and is up the position. But now he's back down, actually. He is back down because Jazz Forsberg's been able to make the move past Triant. And he's also got now Steve Kenwood in front. And obviously we saw that battle between Steve Kenwood and Jazz Forsberg go south in race number 1, where just a tiny tap from Forsberg sent Kenwood a-rolling. And that side-by-side just up in front. That was Roy Magnus. He's already made it into a top 10. Into P number 6, in fact, is trying to hold on to that position ahead of Ovind Anderson into the penultimate turn. He's been able to do that, and he's going to hold on to that quite nicely. Just behind, though, we've got Joshua Voderman holding on from Radek Paleski, and that's going to be Paleski losing it under braking into the penultimate turn, and he's going to lose it to Magno Sandoy as well. And it's going to be Ovind Anderson looking to find a move past Magnus, but he's got Steve Kenwood all over his rear. And Jazz Forsberg going to get involved as well. Forsberg's going to try and get up the inside. Forsberg's past Kenwood. Is he going to be able to also make that move past Magnus as well? He can't quite do it. He's going to have to sit behind. But now Kenwood all over being attacked by Triant, and he's going to try around the outside. It'll become the inside line, of course, into turn number 3. And it's going to be Forsberg on the inside of Roy Magnus, and Forsberg's gone off, and he has collected Magnus in that, which is a real unfortunate, real shame. Steve Kenwood also down the position. Bart Zwiering and Triant have been able to make the move through, and Kenwood down both of those positions there. Anderson now left in the clear, just up in front though. Voderman is in 14th, looking to get into 13th, where he was sitting quite a lot of race number 1. There's a little bit of side-by-side action from Osterberg and Ross Garland. Garland's going to have the better exit. He's going to be able to make that move through. Osterberg's going to try and hold it though. It's going to be the inside line through the long left-hander. He's going to be too far down, but Garland's given him enough room that he's able to come back for the attack and the exit of the corner. And Nicholas Osterberg's going to be on the inside. He breaks a little bit earlier though, and he's going to allow Ross Garland to take P number 11. Osterberg remains in P12 at the moment. But again, there's a whole train of cars here, all trying to get involved in some battles. And Voderman was trying to get up the inside of Colin Hurst. Didn't quite work out. Christoph Müller all over the rear of Steve Gibb. And he's going to get a bit too much apex. Rides the curve a bit too much more than what you want to. And a big, big slide just behind. That was Jas Forsberg. And it looks like he's collected another driver in that. And he did. That was Radek Pileski, who's retired from the event now. That's a real shame that he did have to retire. Jas Forsberg off the circuit for a second time. No, there's some issues out of turn number 1. Means that Colin Hurst moves up to P number 12 past Nicholas Osterberg. Osterberg actually down the position to Joshua Voderman, has been able to move up to 13th, maybe up to 12th here. He's going to look for the inside. He lost it under braking here in race number 1 due to being too adventurous. He keeps it together this time. He's got Osterberg right behind once more. We saw a lot of that in race number 1 as we continue to run through up to the braking point. Then we got Reggie Blaine leading the race so far, about a second ahead of Angelos Barginos, and we saw that gap increase quite steadily in race number 1 as well, and finished about 5 seconds. Bart Zweering in P number 8 is looking to get past Stamatis Chiant-Filou for P number 7. He's also got Steve Kenwood just behind, so the 3 cars. It's a 3-way battle for P number 7 that includes Triant, Zweering and Kenwood. 3 cars will be pushing quite hard in quite close proximity there. Luckily, this circuit is a very wide circuit indeed, but that does not mean there's too much room for error. One little mistake could cost you a slowdown penalty, or even just one little slide will cost you so much time you'll lose the position. And look at that, just a little bit too wide from Triant. Here goes Bart Zweering through. Steve Kenwood is going to make it 3 wide. Can't quite do it, but he is going to look for it into turn number 1. But no, he's already backed out of it. Zweering's already made the move. And somehow around the outside, Triant has been able to hold it. And in fact, this is changing into a battle for P number 6 because one of the drivers has entered the pit lane. Believe maybe forgetting to fill up on fuel from qualifying. With Triant now in 6th, Zweering in 7th, and Steve Kenwood in 8th. Kenwood looks to get past Zweering under braking here, but has to drop it behind for now. Isn't going to be able to make that move, but Zweering is going to be able to make the move on Triant. In fact, out of the corner, there was a little bit of contact, but he's been able to make the move through, and he's going to be able to hold on to P number 6. Triant are going to be able to hold on to P number 7. Steve Kenwood just behind. He might be starting to lose touch with this battle. You can see how many cars are involved just behind there. And in fact, we're going to go have a look behind, because this is Joshua Voderman making a move past Colin Hurst, who's made some sort of mistake or some contact maybe, because Voderman is off. Steve Gibb is one of the drivers involved in this, but it's Nicholas Osterberg leading this very close train of cars behind him of Magne Sandoy, Steve Legale. Stephen Gibb is not too far behind off that, Christoph Müller and Beric Marek. So there's a number of cars here, and that's going to be Magne Sandoy trying to get past Steve Legale. Couldn't quite make that move there. It's still very close with these 3 cars. In fact, over the hill, you couldn't really tell there were 3 cars involved in that. They looked like one. Triant really extending that final corner there, maybe running a bit too much up the inside, cutting the corner, some may say, extending track limits, a little bit unruly from Triant. But as Bart Zweering leads Triant, leaving Kenwood into turn number 1 once more, but it was Triant ahead of Zweering last lap. This lap, however, it is not. You see that whole train of cars, so along the main straight from, I believe, that's from 10th, no, that's from 9th, all the way down to 20th, I think we saw along that main straight there. But this is the battle we're watching at the moment, because Steve Kenwood is going to look for the move, can't quite do it, and there's a little bit of a slide, and now I see 2 people riding side by side in the background. It's going to be Steve Legale looking on the inside of Osterberg, hits the brake early, Steve Gibb into the wall, braking a bit too hard. Very easy to do. He's down the position. Magne Sandoy is going to hold on to his 14th. Marek in 15th at the moment. Very, very close between all the cars behind as well. Voderman is behind Christoph Müller, but it's Müller side by side with Gibb. It's Magne side by side with Fiala. Look at this as they head down the bottom end of the circuit here. They're doing it so close. They're doing it so cleanly. The battling's absolutely great. They're giving each other enough room, and it's creating some really tense battles at the bottom of this. Continuing around here on the left hand side, as there's about 6 cars all within a train here It's still very, very close for who's going to be able to make the move. Steve Legale, though, is going to make a move on the inside of Nicholas Osterberg into the penultimate turn. Can't quite make that... doesn't quite make that move through, but he's going to have to stay behind for now. Maybe make a move at some other point, as you can see all the cars running around, and that is just a beautiful view indeed, seeing all of those. But once more, it's a 3 cars, very close indeed. Triumph's back past Zurink and Steve Kenwood. Surely he's going to try and make the move now. He's going to follow Triumph very, very closely indeed. He's in fact going to move to the outside. It's going to be almost 3 wide here. I think that was a little bit of a tap. All drivers, though, holding on to the cars, holding on to the brakes. It's going to be Triumph ahead, but Kenwood is going to be able to hold the outside line on Bart Zwierink, who's going to be able to come out of this ahead in P number 7. It looks like it's Zwierink at the moment, but will Kenwood have the bigger mahunas and be able to brake a little bit later and just get that outside line working for him? It looks like he can. It looks like he can. He's going to be able to hold it. It's going to be inside of the left hand of the next corner, the next 2 corners, in fact. If he can hold it, this will be the position on Bart Zwierink. And finally, Steve Kenwood goes through after about 20-25 seconds running side by side with Bart Zwierink. Steve Kenwood moves up to P number 7, and he's only about a second behind of Triumph. He's going to have to now close that gap once more, but it's not too big. It's certainly very easily closable. Not too far behind that is this battle for 12 at the moment, that Steve Legale has been able to make that move past Nicholas Osterberg whilst we were looking at that battle for P number 7. So Legale has been able to make the move into P12, which is actually really good for him. And there's also a change in position between Cordero and Martin Faella. Now, Cordero qualified quite high. I believe he was the one that came into the pit stop. So that's where the issue. And just behind, Frans van der Linden runs off, hits Martin Faella. Luckily, there's not too many contact, and Frans van der Linden meets his end. Steve Legale, though, is going to get past Triumph as he's through. He is up to P number 6. That's absolutely fantastic. But where has Jazz Forsberg gone? He's to the rear. Jazz Forsberg is to the rear of your field. Now, I did see someone off through your final corner. It must have been Jazz. That's a real shame. Steve Kenwood and Triumph have lost a driver to battle with. They're certainly not over battling. Do you know what? A driver that's doing absolutely fantastic here. Reggie Blaine Sr. So we've got Reggie Blaine leading, and we've got Reggie Blaine Sr. in 8th, which is really good because he's leading this whole train of cars, which is Reggie Blaine Sr., Ross Garland, Colin Hertz, Steve Legale, Bedrick Marek, Nicholas Osterberg, Christoph Müller, Magne Sondoy, Bart Zwierink, Roy Magnus, Joshua Voderman, Stephen Gibb, Xavier Sanchez Cordero. So it's from 8th to 20th. Now that gap in itself does stretch about 10 seconds, but that's not too far. As you can see, all the drivers very close to one or the other, and almost every single one of those names that I just said is highlighted green, which means that they're within 1 second of the car ahead. It's really close at the moment, and I don't know who's going to come out on ahead, because if Reggie Blaine makes one mistake, he can go from 8th to 20th in just one slide and just one 2-wheel action in through turn number 1. He could lost all of that. Look at that. You can see all 10, 12, 13 cars from 8th to 20th, all with one camera shot along the main straight there. Absolutely fantastic racing at the moment. 8 minutes to go. Colin Hertz looking to get past Ross Garland. Is he going to be able to do anything? Garland's on the outside of Reggie Blaine Sr. there. He's not going to be able to make that move. He's going to have to drop in behind. Steve Legale has got Bedrick Marek behind him. Legale going to be running side by side with Hertz as they head down, but just up ahead, we're going to go watch this as well, because Ross Garland is going to look for the inside, but it's going to be defensive from Blaine Sr., able to do it very nicely, able to hold it around the outside there. And again, the cleanness that these drivers are doing, how clean they are in the battles, their overtakes, it's absolutely fantastic racing. Now, I must say, 2nd, 3rd and 4th on the left-hand side of my standings are very, very confusing. And for you guys who don't know what the order is between the 3 drivers there, it's Parginos, Papanopoulos and Papamikel that are 2nd, 3rd and 4th. I know that can be very confusing, definitely with PAP and PAP being in 3rd and 4th, both driving the Citroen. So it's Papanopoulos ahead of Papamikel there. As as Reggie Blaine has now lost the position to Ross Garland and Steve Legale. And now he's also got Colin Hurks and Bedrick Marek right behind. Christoph Mullen, the Lard, are not too far behind. And Marek's going to go on the inside line of Colin Hurks. And he's going to be able to do it. Marek now up into P number 11. And is going to try and get past Reggie Blaine Sr. And actually, that overtake on Hurks from Marek has allowed Muller to get involved there. And they are now running side by side. So Muller and Hurks side by side, under braking. That was one of the drivers off. I believe that was Marek off. It was, and he's come straight back across. That has actually dropped Colin Hurks down the position as well. So not great from Marek there, losing it under braking and hinders Hurks' race. And that's what I was saying. Hurks was in 10th. That one issue, just getting caught up for like 2 seconds, has lost him to 16th position, lost him 6 positions. But that's also opened your gap between 9th and 10th to about 2 seconds. So that battle seems to have stretched out from there. And now it looks like it really has increased down to just from 12th to about 19th now. Martin Fayela loses about 7 seconds off of this battle. But very, very close behind. That's Nicholas Osterberg trying to defend from Roy Magnus. Magnus trying to make around the outside. Obviously, Magnus was taken out earlier on in the race from a mistake from Jazz Forsberg. He moves up the position, up to P number 14. Nicholas Osterberg down to P15. We're running on board with Colin Hurks, who sits in 16th position at the moment. That was Magnus running slightly wide, but is it going to be Hurks getting the better run on Osterberg? Osterberg getting the better run on Magnus, who already made the move through. In fact, into turn number 1, it looks like Hurks is going to be able to make the move on Roy. They're going to run side by side. Big 2 wheels there from Colin. In fact, it's going to lose him down in contact. Moves both drivers off, Roy Magnus and Joshua Vorderman off there through the exit turn number 1. Just a little bit of a tap. Roy Magnus, though, is not going to allow this to hinder his moves. He's not going to be affected by it. He's going to go for the outside line on Nicholas Osterberg. And it's going to be slight apex usage from Osterberg. Is it going to get him a slower exit? It doesn't look like it, but Roy Magnus is still able to get the faster around the outside. And it's going to be the move for Roy Magnus up to P number 14. Nicholas Osterberg down to P number 15 as they head into turn number 4 now. And heading around, Roy Magnus 13th in this race with about 4 minutes to go. He's still got Nicholas Osterberg and Xavier Sanchez Cordero behind. Now we know that Sanchez Cordero is a very, very fast driver indeed. He's one of our top 3 qualifiers in both races. And he also finished quite high up, 2nd position I believe, in the third position in the first race as well. But with an early mistake, he's down the order. He's looking to get up the inside. Nicholas Osterberg couldn't quite do that though. Will he be able to make move to the final turn? He sits it behind, being very patient indeed. Gets onto the final corners, apex, and a much better exit than Nicholas Osterberg. As coming across the line, Cordero is up to P number 14, but very, very slowly. It keeps on changing. Under braking now, into the mirrors you see Osterberg fall. And that is going to be Xavier Sanchez Cordero up to 14th. But he slows down and he allows Nicholas Osterberg through. So it looks like it's a slowdown penalty because it's also allowed Bedrick Marek through. But he's going to hold the outside line. Surely Marek pulls back across onto the racing line and he locks up the brakes. And he's going to go off the circuit trying to get past Sanchez Cordero there. And he locks up the brakes and he is down the position. He can't quite take advantage of the penalty given to Cordero there. I didn't see too much track limits being abused by Osterberg, but it could have just been very slight track limit abuse, and he could possibly could have just extended just that little bit that we couldn't quite see from our onboards, or maybe I just wasn't paying too much attention to it. But coming through, Joshua Voderman here in 19th position behind Reggie Blaine Sr., who sits in 18th. Now, Reggie Blaine was originally in 8th, and that's why I said just one mistake's going to lose you down the positions. As Blaine runs off the circuit, disappears off our screens completely there. And he is down a lot of positions. Reggie Blaine down to the rear of the field now, 22nd. He was 8th. He was 8th halfway through this race, and now with 2 minutes to go, he's 22nd. And if you start falling one position, you fall out of a rhythm, and it looks like that's exactly what's happened to Reggie Blaine Sr., and he's just now falling down the order hand over fist. He's hit rock bottom completely in this race. Steve Legale, though, looking to make a move. He's very close to Ross Garland. Ross makes a mistake under braking. He slides the car, and here comes Steve Legale to take clear advantage of that. It's going to leave Ross enough room to rejoin the circuit. Steve Legale going to have the faster run, though, and he is through. Christoph Muller might try to take advantage of this as well. As we run on board with Muller, he's got Ross Garland in front. Steve Legale has just been able to make that move following Garland's mistake. With 1.5 minutes to go, Christoph Muller, just 2 more laps here. He's going to go to the inside of Ross Garland. Will he be able to make that stick? If he can keep the racing line, he can make it stick to the next hander. Unlike the first race, Garland does not leave enough room up the inside for Christoph Muller to be able to sneak through. He did that in race number 1, and by the looks of it, he's learned from his mistakes. We're also looking at Roy Magnus be able to make the move past Magno Sandoy there. And he is through P number 12. And also, here now comes Cordero around the outside of Sandoy. And that's going to be for P number 13. Will he be able to do it into the penultimate turn? They're going to run side by side. It's going to be Sandoy on the inside of Cordero. Cordero able to hold it on the outside into the final turn. Sandoy's going to have to drop it behind. And Xavier Sanchez Cordero up to 13th. Ross Garland, though, is still trying to get through. In fact, he's very, very close. This battle in front of him of Christoph Muller and Bart Zwering. Christoph Muller on the outside of Bart. So Bart's come out of nowhere there, because I don't think he was originally involved in this battle. I think it was Steve Legale leading Ross Garland, leading Christoph Muller, and now it's completely changed here. And Christoph Muller in 9th. Bart Zwering's going to go to the outside line. Under braking, Christoph Muller wait to go defensive, but couldn't quite do it. Didn't have enough room, didn't have enough space to close the door on Bart. But all drivers keeping their foot in under the brakes. The session has come to a close. Reggie Blaine comes up to the final corner. He is going to come across the line to win your race once more, but that by no means is going to detract from this battle that we were watching, because that's an amazing win, double win once more from Reggie Blaine, and well done to him for that. Vangelis Paginos crossed the line in 2nd again. As a very nice finish for him, as we got the 3 group drivers, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. And we have Bart Zweering in 10th at the moment, as he is going to try his hardest now to get past Christoph Muller. But he's going to push a little bit too hard, and it's going to allow Ross Garland to get involved. Now, you may not think it, but there was only half a second between those, and one little slide, one little mistake, driving wide just a little tiny bit, could mean the difference between one position and the next in this battle. But by the looks of it, it's going to be Christoph Muller, Bart Zweering, and then Ross Garland, who dropped off right at the very end. Nicholas Osterberg, though, still on the rear of Magno Sandoy, coming out of the final turn. Sandoy runs slightly wide, and here goes Nicholas Osterberg to come up the line. It's going to be the position to Osterberg, surely across the line it is. Nicholas Osterberg just takes the checker flag ahead of Magno Sandoy for P number 13. What a second race that's been. Another 2 great races, and we are going to get your race results in very shortly indeed. And then we can run to the end and I can get some sleep, because I'm very, very tired indeed. Right, let's see what the results are once everyone comes across the line. Here we go. Reggie Blaine comes across the line in 1st, and Paginos in 2nd. 3rd position to Papanopoulos. 4th to Papa Mikel. 5th was Kenwood and Anderson. Triantelefu, Steve Legale, Muller and Zweering rounding out your top 10. Then we had Ross Garland, Magnus, Osterberg, Sandoy, Murek, Herx, Forsberg, Blaine Sr. and Gibb. Rounding out your top 22, Martin Frayela finishing in 21st. Blaine Sr. able to get past 2 positions at the very end there. Sanchez Cordero retiring right at the very end of the race, unfortunately. Frans van der Linden we already saw retire quite early on in the race, and Polesk never started the race. So that is the second of your 2 races tonight. I hope you have enjoyed both of the races, as I always enjoy bringing you Race Room Sunday. It is by far my... sorry, this isn't even Race Room Sunday, is it? My word, I'm just mistaken by days now. I don't even know what day it is. I love these Race Room events anyway. Race Room is the best for the broadcast overlay stuff, and it just is the best for a broadcaster like myself to be able to use. All they need to fix now is the grid stuff, so I can actually look at the qualifying results on the grid. That would be very helpful. Once they've sorted that out, I'm totally in love with it. But I hope you have enjoyed, like I keep on saying, this event. And like I said, I'm not too sure about streams for the rest of the week. Apart from tomorrow, we have the lovely new Lotuses in the rookie events tomorrow on AC. And I'll be bringing you a broadcast of that. I hope you have enjoyed then this event. Be sure to hit that thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe, and be sure to head over to racedepartment.com and check out the site, and be sure to become a premium member and join in these events. It's very, very cheap for the entire year. So be sure to do it. It's absolutely no money at all. It's really not. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.